How's it going, Raiders? The purpose of this video is to give people who missed the 3-1 notes an opportunity to get them done. Also, those people that maybe write a little bit slower than everybody else and that didn't get a chance to write it all down, this video will enable you to finish those up. Remember, as with all class notes, they need to be numbered. These notes are going to be numbered 1 through 6. And they also need to be in Cornell note style with the questions on the left and the answers on the right. It's not necessary that you write down the check for understanding questions, although some of you guys do. Sometimes the check for understanding questions and the ones that are at the end of the PowerPoint make it onto the test. So not a bad idea to have those written down, but they are not necessary for you to do to get full credit on the notes. All right, here we go. Okay, so chapter 3 is about ecology, the interactions between organisms and their environment. Remember, if me talking while you're trying to write is confusing you or making it hard for you to take notes, you are always welcome to turn the volume down. And then when I'm getting ready to go to the next slide so you know when to pause it, I will do this. All right, so ecology is the study between organisms and their environment, and this is a lot more important now than it used to be because the environment is changing and many organisms are being stressed and are having a problem surviving. We need scientists to be out there in nature to find out what changes need to be done to make sure that these organisms have a shot at surviving and living their lives. Okay, the biosphere, definition of the biosphere. So bio meaning life, sphere, circular. It's basically the Earth. Has the portions of the planet in which all life exists: land, water, air, and atmosphere. Those are the 4 locations, reservoirs, what have you, where we find life on this planet. Also, a quick plug, quick reminder, assuming you're watching this video in the month of October 2020, Rowdy Raider shirts are on sale. Send Mr. Paulus, myself, an email if you want to buy one. apaulus@sanjuan.edu. Deadline for orders and payments received in the mail is October 31st. Okay, I'm getting ready to jump ahead to the next slide. Okay, different levels of organization. We start really, really simple, really small, and we get really, really complex and really big. All right. So we start with individual living creatures. Could be plants, could be animals, could be bacteria. And then all of those same organisms, same species, same place, same time, we refer to as populations. Numerous populations of different types of organisms that are in the same place, we call those communities. Ecosystems are where we bring in the non-living or abiotic portion. That would be like air, water, dirt, rock, okay? Pretty much anything that influences life, but it itself is not alive. And then biomes are the largest level of organization that ecologists study. All right, getting ready to hop ahead. Okay, so I like this picture because it kind of hammers home what I was just saying. So individual, this is an elk or a caribou. All right, so that's the lowest level of organization. And then if you have, so obviously these are the offspring of the, we'll just call it an elk. That is a population. Population is the same species at the same place at the same time. A community involves populations of different types of organisms. So we have a rabbit here. We have, I don't know, a hedgehog, an owl, mountain lion, moose. So different populations in the same place at the same time as the community. Ecosystem brings in the atmosphere, brings in rocks, brings in the air, brings in water, brings in the dirt. So the non-living or abiotic things make up the ecosystem. That's the interaction between the living and the non-living, and that's where we get the term ecology. And then all of these ecosystems make up biomes, and all the biomes on the planet make up the Earth. Okay, so these are the check for understanding slides or the whiteboard slides. Many of you guys are going to fast forward past this part because you just want to get the notes done so you can turn them in. But I would encourage you to use this as an opportunity to practice with your notes. See if you can remember like keywords that are in the definition for ecology. And if you can't remember, go back to number 1 and read number 1. You got it. The scientific study of interactions among organisms and between those organisms and their environment. Okay, so ecology is really the study between living things and the non-living: air, water, rock, soil. The biosphere includes what 4 parts? And if you can't remember what those 4 parts are, take a look at number 2. Gotta get my hat straight, sorry. Go Cats! All right, so we got air, atmosphere, land, and water are the places where we find living things on this planet. What are the 5 levels of organization that ecologists study? And I would memorize those from simplest or smallest to biggest. And if you can't remember, take a look at number 3. All right, start with the individual. Population, community, ecosystem. That's where you bring in the abiotic. And then biomes. And of course, all of the biomes make up the Earth. Okay, lots of vocabulary in section 3.1 and 3.2. Don't forget, you have reading notes that are due on Tuesday. You should be doing about a page a night. I assign these on Wednesday. All right, so species, group of organisms that are so similar, meaning their DNA is so similar to one another that they can breed and produce fertile offspring. And that's a really important clarification. Fertile offspring, meaning that offspring itself can have kids. Because if you take a horse, okay, and I think it's a mule, all right, if you take a horse and a mule, they can actually produce offspring. The donkey, and maybe it's the horse and the donkey produce the mule. I always get the mule, the other one mixed up. Anyway, so that offspring, the mule, okay, or the donkey, whichever one it is, it cannot breed even with another donkey and produce offspring, which means that the DNA from the horse and the DNA from the mule are so different that, well, they're close enough to where they can produce offspring, but that offspring itself, its chromosomes are so mixed up, it can't actually produce its own offspring. So that makes a horse and a mule a different species. Okay. Populations, groups of individuals that belong to the same species, live in the same area. So population is same species, same place, same time. My video just locked up there for a second. So if we were in class, okay, there would be the Paulus biology population. Same species, Homo sapiens sapiens, okay? Same place, whatever time we're in class, same time, or same place, classroom, same time, same time. That population would be different than the population next door in Mrs. Costello's room. So same species, Homo sapiens sapiens, same time, but different location. So you can have a population of, say, squirrels. The Sacramento squirrel population is different from the, let's say, Rockland squirrel population because the location is different. Okay, same species, same time, but they're in different places, so they are different populations. Okay, communities, groups of different populations that live together in a defined area. So humans, all the squirrels, all the seagulls that are on campus. I'm sure there are some mice and some rats because of all the food that kids drop on campus. All the plants that are on campus, all of those populations together make up the Rio campus community. All right, getting ready to hop ahead to the next one. More vocab. Ecosystem. So all the organisms, those are the biotic, the living portion. And the non-living, that's going to be air, water, dirt, rocks. Those are all things that influence communities of organisms, but they themselves are not living. And we call that term abiotic. And the living are the biotic. Okay, a biome is a group of ecosystems that have the same climate and similar dominant communities. And the highest level studied is the entire planet. Although typically ecologists, they specialize in one type of biome, or they specialize in one area, one region, okay? Because obviously the different biomes in the different regions all over the planet are distinctly different, and it's really tough to specialize in all of those, or even more than one, many times. All right, so that is all of the notes, but I'd like you guys to stick around for another 2, 3, 4 minutes because I have some check for understanding questions for you. And I also have those questions that always come after the notes, which one or two of these might end up on your test, so you should probably see them here. Again, don't need to write these extra questions down, but some of you guys do. And if you have the questions and the answers and you happen to see that on a future test, assuming the tests are still online, then you would know the answer to that question because you have it written down. All right, here we go. Moving on to the next slide. Okay, species. A, B, C, D, or E. So you're going to go back to number 4 and number 5. You're just trying to figure out what letter goes with species. Yeah, D, group of organisms so similar that they can breed and produce fertile offspring or fertile young. All right, next one, number 2, population. And remember, if you want to look these up on your own, pause the video so you have time and I don't ruin it for you. Population is A, individuals of the same species that live in the same area. Community. Yeah, community is E, group of populations that live in the same defined area. Ecosystem. Yeah, ecosystem is C, collection of all the organisms that live in an area, and they contain the biotic and the abiotic. And of course, by process of elimination, that makes biome B, group of ecosystems that have the same climate, okay, or similar climates. All right, here we go. The combined portions of the planet in which life exists, including land, water, and the atmosphere, form. Which one is that? And if you're not sure, you should go back and take a look at number 2. Yeah, you bet. It's biosphere. Group of organisms that can breed and produce fertile offspring is known as a... Didn't we just talk about this like seconds ago? Really? Yeah, it is that easy. Yeah, you got it. Species. Compared to a community, an ecosystem includes... So when we're talking about an ecosystem, what is added to the community, which is all of the groups of different populations? All right, yeah, the non-living, the abiotic portion. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the 3-1 class notes. Please don't forget the due date of these class notes is, I think, Sunday. I said the due date is Sunday at 9. Should give you guys plenty of time to finish them up. Thank you very much, and we will see you guys in the Zoom.